What if Jesus' words were a secret code, a hidden map to unlock the divine power inside you? Picture a dusty, ancient scroll, its edges frayed, tucked away in a forgotten cave. The words inscribed on it glow faintly in the dim light, whispering truths that could shatter everything you thought you knew about the Bible. This isn't a dusty history lesson. It's a psychological labyrinth, a thrilling chase through parables and paradoxes that could lead you to the divine spark within your own soul. Imagine standing in a quiet marketplace 2,000 years ago, the air thick with the scent of bread and livestock. A man speaks to a crowd, his voice calm but piercing. His stories seem simple, seeds, pearls, light, but there's a strange electricity in his words, like a puzzle you can't quite solve. Some listeners nod, taking his tales at face value. Others linger, their minds snagging on the metaphors, sensing there's more. You're one of those lingerers, drawn into the mystery, wondering, what if these aren't just stories? What if they're keys to something bigger, something hidden inside me? This is our journey today, a descent into the lost and forbidden teachings of Jesus, where every parable is a locked door, every verse a clue. The air feels heavy as we start, like the moment before a storm. To understand Jesus' hidden teachings, we need to grasp what esoteric means. Picture a book on your shelf, one you've read a dozen times. You know the story, but one day you notice a pattern in the words, a code you never saw before. Truth wrapped in symbols, metaphors, and stories, designed to stay hidden until you're ready to see it. It's not for the casual reader, but for the seeker who's willing to dig, to question, to unravel. Jesus spoke this way, weaving truths into tales that worked on two levels. To the crowd, his parables were lessons about kindness or faith, like a warm blanket on a cold night. But to those with ears to hear, they were something else entirely, a map to divine enlightenment, a guide to waking up the spark of God inside. Think of it like a song you love. The melody's catchy, but the lyrics hit differently when you're heartbroken. The surface grabs you, but the depth transforms you. Imagine giving a child a lighter. They might play with it, not knowing it could burn the house down. Esoteric teachings are powerful, ideas about the universe, the soul, and God that could overwhelm someone unprepared. Jesus wrapped them in stories, saving the fire for those ready to wield it. Picture a field at dawn, the grass damp with dew. Jesus tells a crowd about a mustard seed, so tiny it could slip through your fingers, yet it grows into a tree big enough for birds to nest in. The crowd smiles. Small things can become great, they think. But you pause, sensing a riddle. What if the seed isn't just a seed? What if it's you, or something inside you? This is our key idea, the one that ignites the whole mystery. The kingdom of God isn't a far-off paradise. It's a divine potential buried in your soul, waiting to grow. The mustard seed is your inner spark, a fragment of the infinite that's always been there, like a quiet hum you've ignored your whole life. Nurture it through reflection, prayer, or stillness, and it expands, reshaping your thoughts, your heart, your entire being. The birds in the branches, they're the insights that come when you awaken, the moments of clarity that feel like home. This isn't abstract philosophy. Think of a time you felt truly alive, maybe watching a sunset, holding someone you love, or losing yourself in a perfect moment. That warmth, that connection is the seed stirring. Jesus wasn't pointing to a throne in the clouds, but to that, a state of being where you feel whole, connected to something bigger. The thrill lies in realizing it's not out there. It's in you, right now, waiting to be unlocked. The scene shifts. You're in a bustling bazaar, merchants shouting over piles of goods. Jesus tells another story. A trader hunts for pearls, spending years chasing beauty. One day he finds one so perfect he sells everything, his home, his clothes, his safety, to buy it. The crowd nods, value what matters, they think. But you catch a glint in his words, a deeper truth. The pearl isn't just a treasure, it's the realization of who you are. This parable isn't about sacrifice, it's about discovery. Imagine you've spent years collecting stuff, gadgets, achievements, likes on a screen. Then one day you stumble on something that makes it all feel small, a truth so bright it drowns out the noise. That's the pearl, the moment you see your divine nature, the part of you that's eternal, untouched by fear or failure. To claim it, you let go, not of your stuff, but of the illusions tying you to it. The merchant is you, and the chase is your life, leading you to this one, electric truth. The mystery deepens when we hear Jesus say, "The kingdom of God is within you." Picture the Pharisees, smug and skeptical, demanding to know when God's reign will come. Jesus' answer is a bombshell. Not a date, not a place, but a redirection. It's in you. Not in temples or rituals, not in some cosmic event, but in the quiet core of your being. This is where the psychological thriller kicks in. What if the greatest secret in history isn't locked in a vault or buried in a desert? What if it's been inside you all along, hidden in plain sight? Let's push deeper into the heart of Jesus' life itself. Imagine a desert at dusk, the sky bruised purple, the air sharp with cold. Jesus is alone, fasting for 40 days, facing temptations that claw at his mind: power, comfort, control. This isn't just a story of willpower. It's a mirror of the inner battles we all fight, the voices that pull us from our truth. Mystics call this the dark night of the soul, where you confront your fears and shed the ego's grip. Jesus emerges stronger, his purpose clear, showing us the path. To awaken, you must face yourself. Now picture a mountain peak, clouds swirling below. Jesus stands with a few disciples, and suddenly light pours from him, his face glowing like the sun. This is the transfiguration, a moment where the divine breaks through. It's not just a miracle, it's a glimpse of what's possible. That light is the same spark in you, the seed, the pearl now fully alive. It's the thrill of realizing you're not just flesh and bone, but a vessel for something infinite. Finally, we reach the cross, a stark, brutal scene, yet strangely luminous. Jesus' death isn't just sacrifice, it's transformation. The cross is the ego's end, the moment you let go of who you thought you were. His resurrection is the rebirth, the awakening to your true self, divine, eternal, whole. This isn't history, it's a map. Every struggle, every surrender leads you closer to that light within. Light. It's everywhere in Jesus' words, a radiance cutting through the fog of doubt and fear. But then he turns it on you. You are the light of the world. Imagine a lantern in your chest, its glow dimmed by worry or distraction. Jesus' teachings are about kindling that flame, letting it shine so brightly it lights up everything around you. Think of light like Wi-Fi. It's invisible, but it connects everything. Your phone, your laptop, your life. The divine is like that, a signal running through you, linking you to the universe. When Jesus talks about light, he's not just being poetic. He's describing the energy of awakening, the moment you tap into that signal and feel it hum. It's why a kind word, a quiet moment, or a sudden insight can feel electric. Your light is flickering on. Now, picture yourself in a small room, the world loud outside. You close the door, sit still, and breathe. Jesus taught prayer and meditation not as rituals, but as doorways. Go into your room, he said, and pray in secret. That room isn't a place, it's your mind, your heart, the space where you meet the divine. Prayer isn't begging for favors, it's tuning in, like adjusting a radio until the static clears. Meditation is the silence that follows, where you hear the signal loud and clear. This is where the seed grows, where the pearl shines. In that stillness, you touch the kingdom, not as a concept, but as a living reality. It's like finding a song you forgot you loved, its melody flooding you with joy. Jesus' whole message hinges on this. The divine isn't out there. It's here, now, in the quiet of your soul. We climb a hill now, the crowd buzzing below. Jesus delivers the Beatitudes, each one's a step deeper into the mystery. Blessed are the poor in spirit, he says, and you realize it's not about money, but humility, letting go of pride to make room for the divine. Blessed are those who mourn, and you see it's not just grief, but longing, the ache for something truer than this world. Each blessing is a key, unlocking the seed inside you, guiding you to peace, mercy, purity, qualities that aren't rules but states of being, each one brightening your inner light. The Beatitudes aren't a checklist. They're a spiral, drawing you inward. Imagine a staircase in an old house, each step creaking underfoot, leading to a door you've never opened. That's what these words do. They lead you to the kingdom within, not as a prize, but as a homecoming. As we near the end, the air feels charged, like the moment before a revelation. Jesus' teachings, his parables, his light, his life, are a single, thrilling invitation to find the divine not in the sky, but in your heart. The mustard seed, the pearl, the light, they're all the same truth, refracted through stories that pulse with mystery. The kingdom of God is your potential, a spark that's been there since your first breath, waiting for you to notice. This isn't a call to believe, but to explore. Picture yourself at night, staring at the stars, feeling small yet vast. That's the feeling Jesus pointed to. A connection so deep it rewrites who you are. His words are a map, not to a place but to a state of being, where every moment hums with meaning, every breath feels alive. The thrill lies in the chase, in knowing the secret isn't lost, it's in you. Like a melody you hum without thinking, the divine is woven into your life, waiting for you to listen. So pause, breathe, and ask, what if the kingdom is already here, inside me, ready to grow? The answer is the journey, and it starts now. The hilltop fades, the crowd's murmurs dissolve into the wind, and you're left standing alone under a sky vast enough to swallow your thoughts. The Beatitudes still echo in your mind, blessings that aren't just words but keys, each one unlocking a deeper chamber of your soul. You've followed Jesus' trail through parables, light, and prayer, each step pulling you closer to a truth that feels both ancient and alive. But now, as the air grows thick with anticipation, you sense the journey isn't over. The real enigma, the heart of the forbidden teachings, waits just beyond the next turn. Picture yourself in a quiet room at dusk, the world outside dimming to a hush. You sit, eyes closed, breathing slowly, letting the noise of the day slip away. This is where we left off, in the sacred stillness Jesus called your room, where prayer and meditation become more than rituals. They're doorways to the divine. But what lies on the other side? The light of the Transfiguration showed its glow, and the Beatitudes mapped the path. Now, as we reach the climax of this psychological thriller, we're about to uncover the final secret, the one that ties every clue together and flips the script on everything you thought you knew. The scene shifts, a marketplace at dawn, the air sharp with the tang of olives and dust. 2,000 years ago, Jesus stood here, his voice cutting through the chatter. His stories seemed simple, his lessons kind. But beneath the surface, he was planting dynamite. Ideas so radical they had to be hidden in plain sight. The mustard seed wasn't just about growth, it was your soul's potential. The pearl wasn't just a treasure, it was your divine truth. The light wasn't just guidance, it was your essence. And the kingdom? It's not a place, it's you. This is where the thrill peaks, where the labyrinth of his teachings converges on one electrifying truth. Here's the definitive key idea, the spark that ignites the whole mystery. The divine isn't separate from you. It's woven into your very being, a living consciousness that pulses through every moment, waiting for you to claim it. Think of your mind like a radio, always picking up signals, work, worry, the hum of daily life. But there's another frequency, one you've rarely tuned into. It's the signal of the divine, not out in the stars or locked in a temple, but right here, in the quiet rhythm of your breath, the steady beat of your heart. Jesus' teachings, his parables, his prayers, his life, were a manual for finding that signal, for waking up to the infinite inside you. This isn't some abstract theory. Imagine you're cooking dinner, the kitchen warm with the smell of spices. You're lost in the moment, stirring the pot when a sudden wave of peace hits you. Pure, unexplainable, like the world just clicked into place. That's the signal breaking through, the kingdom stirring within. Or picture a late-night drive, the road stretching endless under a blanket of stars. You feel small but vast, like you're part of something bigger. That's not just a feeling. It's the divine consciousness Jesus pointed to, the spark that's been with you all along. Now let's pull back the curtain on the deepest phenomenon tied to this truth. Think of consciousness itself, your ability to think, feel, dream. It's not just brain chemistry, it's a mystery that baffles researchers. Some cutting-edge theories suggest consciousness isn't confined to your skull but connected to the universe, like a thread in a vast tapestry. Ancient texts, like those buried in desert caves or excluded from the Bible, echo this idea, describing the soul as a fragment of the divine, a piece of the infinite that lives in you. Jesus' teachings align with this. When he said the kingdom of God is within you, he wasn't speaking in metaphors, he was revealing a cosmic truth. Imagine a hologram where every tiny piece contains the whole image. That's you, a spark of the divine that holds the entire universe within it. The parables were codes to unlock this realization. The mustard seed grows because your consciousness can expand beyond limits. The pearl shines because your true self is priceless. The light burns because you're not separate from the divine. You're part of it, always have been. This is the mind-bending twist. The forbidden knowledge isn't lost in some ancient vault. It's alive in you, right now. Picture a locked box you've carried your whole life, never noticing the key was in your pocket. Jesus handed you that key through his words, his life, his call to look within. The thrill lies in opening the box, in seeing that the divine isn't a distant God, but a presence woven into your thoughts, your choices, your very existence. The scene changes one last time. You're standing on a cliff at sunrise, the horizon ablaze with gold. The wind carries the echo of Jesus' voice, "Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened." You've walked his path through the wilderness of doubt, the mountain of illumination, the cross of surrender. The Beatitudes taught you to shed pride, to mourn illusions, to hunger for truth. Prayer and meditation showed you the doorway. Light revealed your essence. And now, Here you stand at the edge of awakening. What does it mean to claim this truth? It's not about leaving the world behind or chasing visions in the desert. It's about living with eyes open, seeing the divine in the ordinary. When you help a stranger, that's the kingdom. When you forgive someone, that's the light. When you sit in silence and feel that quiet hum of peace, that's the pearl. The mystery of Jesus' teachings isn't that they're hidden, it's that they're everywhere, in every moment you choose to awaken. This phenomenon, this idea that you're not just a speck in the universe, but a vessel of its essence, flips everything upside down. It's like discovering your house has a secret room you never knew about, filled with treasures you've always owned. The scholars and mystics who hunted for Jesus' lost teachings weren't chasing scrolls. They were chasing this, the realization that you don't need to search outside yourself. The divine is as close as your next thought, as real as the ground beneath your feet. As the sun climbs higher, the cliff glows warm under your toes. The journey through Jesus' teachings has brought you here to a truth that feels like waking from a dream. The parables, the lightitudes, they're not just stories or symbols. They're a map to the divine consciousness inside you, a signal that's been broadcasting since the moment you were born. The thrill of this psychological chase wasn't just uncovering the secret, it was realizing it was yours all along. So here's your call to action, bold and charged with the mystery we've unraveled. Tune into that signal today. Take one moment, right now, to pause, breathe, and listen. Close your eyes, let the world fade, and feel for that quiet hum within. Ask yourself, what if the kingdom is already here, in me, waiting to shine? Seek that spark, knock on that door, and see what opens. The divine isn't waiting for you in some distant realm. It's here in the silence of your soul, ready to transform everything. Will you answer the call?